So, have you ever heard of Butt Ugly Martians? There's a good chance that you haven't heard of Butt Ugly Martians. And for a long while, I'd forgotten what this was. You ever have a time where you completely forget about some piece of media or something in general, and then one day, one random day, it will just pop into your head and you're like, oh, ugh, ugh. It's kind of like that with Crazy Frog back in the day, you know. I've now just put that back in your head. How unfortunate, right? So, Butt Ugly Martians. It was a show that ran in 2001, or I think it ran from 2001 to 2003, and it was basically about a group of three aliens that decided to, or three Martians in this case, that decided to invade Earth. But then they decide to team up with some teens to fight against evil. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the whole invading Earth thing was boring to them. But yeah, you got like three aliens and they got stupid names. You got Beep-Bop-A-Luna, Tutti Frutti, and Tuwa-Diddy. Yeah, with the names you can imagine. So today, I'm going to be looking at some of the video games that have come out related to this, because I thought to myself when it popped back into my head, I was like, I wonder if there's video games for this. So that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at two video games specifically, one for the Game Boy Advance and one for the GameCube. Let's dive right in, shall we? I hope you enjoy. So first up, we have the Game Boy Advance game, Butt Ugly Martians, B.K.M. Battles. So, this game was developed by Runecraft and published by VU Games in 2002, and it is listed as a 2D beat-em-up. It seems to be that there is some kind of story about an invasion, and you've got no time to lose, and you can only defeat them with BKM, whatever that means, who cares, right? Basically, the core of the game is that you drive around in your big mech suit. Yeah, each of these Martians have their own mech suit. It's like their super suit. I guess you could say it's like them going Super Saiyan or something like that. I don't know the analogy I can give there. But yeah, you go around in your little alien mech suit and you shoot cannons and collect power-ups, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, this is the core gameplay. I only played like the first level because I got bored pretty quickly. It's not very innovative. The level design is very linear, and there isn't really much going on. Again, you can just go around shooting these cannons, and it's not exactly difficult. You got a health bar, and as you can just saw, I just got hit by one of those cannons, and it only took off a tiny slither of health. There's health power-ups everywhere. And every time you fucking destroy one of the cannons, there's a likelihood that they might drop a health power-up anyway, so even though they are already scattered across the level. You also have the chance of getting a shield that goes around you, but the cannons, like I said, are not exactly difficult to dispatch of. Because literally, they shoot once, and then you can just stand in front of them, fire a bunch of times, and then just boom, they're gone. And when they fire once, the bullet moves so slowly, you could just dodge it anyway. There was a time when we went up against some other character, but he wasn't exactly difficult, and again, he got dispatched in a very similar way. Just fly around a lot. Generally speaking, he won't seem to attack, or until he gets closer to you, and just fire off from a distance, and boom, he's dead. So yeah, it's a pretty basic 2D. They say it's a 2D beat 'em up when I'd say it's more of a scrolling shooter, because that's what it really is. There is no punch button or anything. You just shoot things and fly around. I don't see it have anything else to do with a beat 'em up, to be honest. But yeah, it's okay, I guess, for the Game Boy Advance. It's nothing special, and yeah, I wouldn't say much else really, if I be completely honest. It's okay, and that's really it. And here's the second game, Butt Ugly Martians, Zoom or Doom. Developed by Runecraft and published by Knowledge Adventure Inc., or at least it would have. This game was cancelled for release in America, but it did get released in Europe by VU Games again. So, look at this gameplay and tell me what you think of. What do you think of when you see this gameplay? It's pretty fast-paced, you're on a track, the track's has a kind of a little bit of an F-Zero vibe to it. Kind of, not as fast obviously, but it has kind of that vibe about it. But then another game tends to pop in head, and I referenced Crazy Frog earlier. That reference wasn't just there for me to ruin your day. That reference was there because this game reminds me of Crazy Frog Racer. it really does remind me of Crazy Frog Racer. This game was rated poorly upon release, but in all fairness, it's not that bad. It controls okay. You don't go flying off the levels like you did in Crazy Frog Racer. You stick to the track, and yeah, it's mediocre. Don't get me wrong, but it's above anything else. It's better than anything Phoenix Games could muster. And you know, it's pretty semi-decent racing game. You know, it works. It's not exactly difficult, but it works. So you go along the track, you can pick up power-ups among other things. You can get a boost out of that. It seems to be weapons and stuff you can also get. As you saw earlier, you can collect certain items. I don't know what criteria applies, but you can collect certain items, and then you go into this like super mode. For the Martians, they get out their mecha suit again. I'm playing as the agent. This is the guy, I think, if I remember correctly, was tasked to find the Martians and uncover them and expose them to the public, I think, or something along those lines. If I can capture them, who knows, right? I don't remember. And he doesn't really have, it's like this when you get the ultimate special, whatever you want to call it, all it really tends to do is make you go really fast for a short period of time. Maybe it makes you invincible as well. But for this dude, as you can see, there's a power up. We used a power up to turn him to ice. As for this dude, his bike just turns like completely gold, and he just boosts. That's pretty much it. Here we go. That's it. Look at that change. Not much change there. His bike's now completely gold, and he's got a boost. As you can see, the game can go pretty fast sometimes. And that's why it kind of reminds me of Crazy Frog Racer, is the track design, the speed, just even the controls as well is just the only thing that, and it makes me think to myself, hey, if Crazy Frog Racer didn't have you falling off the fucking level, well, you know, and like this game hasn't got you falling off the level, maybe it would have been okay. Maybe it would have been just a mediocre racer. But I digress. Doom Zoom is not as bad as I thought it was going to be with such a low Metacritic score and user score that it had. But it's just a mediocre racer. Maybe my palette in terms of video games is degraded because of Phoenix Games. Who knows? But I don't think this is terrible by no means. So there you go. That was the Butt Ugly Martian video games. Let's move into the outro. This is it's okay. It's nothing special. It's okay. And don't even think about trying to get the PlayStation 2 version to work on the emulator, because it just doesn't. I tried. It just doesn't work. This was done on the GameCube emulator, the Dolphin emulator. So yeah, play that version. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 2 Butt Ugly Martian video games that I wanted to look at. I did think about looking at the PC games, but generally speaking, my luck with trying to get PC games to work, or at least old PC games, tends to be fucking horrible. So I decided against it. And in all fairness, I really was more or less just interested in Zoom or Doom, if I'm being honest, because I looked at a little bit of gameplay and it made me think of Crazy Frog Racer, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this is absolutely, I looked at the Metacritic score and the user score, and it was really bad, and I thought, oh, maybe this is as bad as Crazy Frog Racer, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's not as bad as that. And I thought, hey, why not? Let's look at the Game Boy Advance game as well. Yeah, they're just 2 pretty mediocre games, really, which is fair enough, really. If I be honest, look at all the TV shows or the kid shows back in the day that got video games, and those video games were absolute trash, like pure trash. At least with Butt Ugly Martians, it got 2 mediocre games. They ain't anything special, but they're functional, they work, and yeah, they're not bad, if I'm being honest. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed me looking at Butt Ugly Martians. Hopefully I'll never have to think of this series ever again, because I tell you what, the CG animation for that series is really dated. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video, where we tackle something different. See ya!